Welcome, friends. Thanks for coming back. This is Richard with Lost Arts Radio, and we're here with Dr. Gabriel Cousens. He's got some insights on the lying and deception that's going on in society and from all of our leaders and media right now and what to do with that. So welcome, Dr. Cousens. Thanks for being here. And,
Okay. Thank you, Richard. I welcome you all with love, and we're happy to share this information with people, or really this insight, this discussion. It's not less information, but discussion of it. And we're going to start with a little prayer, which is merging the heavens and earth and heart and mind, which is what the society needs. So here goes. Hashem Yikud Bihu Ushinate Bi Ilo Imu Lai Hashem Yikud Bavavke Bida Shlom Shem Kozrael Kolam Amen. Feel that merging of heart and soul. And now we'll do a little dance to honor and open up our hearts for talking. Okay, very good. So, welcome back. And we are going to meditate for a minute or so, just to bring ourselves focused in. It's good to do a mantra for meditation. In the mantra we use, Moses guided the burning bush, Jesus guided Mount Hermon to his disciples is Yod and then breath, Hey and out breath, Wah and then breath, Hey and out breath. Yod from the base up to the heart, Hey out to the heart. Wah from the base to the third eye, Hey out to the heart. And you just keep doing that until your mind's quiet. Okay. Focus on my eyes. Let's see. Slowly come out of meditation. Topic today is a surprise topic. Not really. It's a surprise. It's suddenly out of the blue. Biden has cancer of the prostate with metastases to the bones. Now, I have to be honest, this sudden finding is not what you see. As a medical doctor, you would be seeing these things, particularly someone as closely watched as the president, you would be seeing these things a while ago. Okay? Cancer of the prostate develops relatively slowly. And it is pretty amazing that it would suddenly develop a week after all that's going on. So that's one thing. But that's one huge lie. And another huge lie connected to the Biden, Obama, Clinton administration is that it appears based on kind of all the reports that are coming out, that which we knew, that Biden wasn't exactly as sharp as a tack. In fact, it's rather tacky what they did, which is they pretended he was healthy when he wasn't. And a person's in charge of this country who really is senile and to the extent of being out of touch with reality. Now, on one level, I consider this senior abuse. That's one level. And at the same level, there was, in a sense, an ongoing coup, including Biden's wife and Obama and Hillary and other people who basically were running the country. Some people say it was Obama's third term. But this is really bad. And what's bad is that it's a corruption of truth. It's a corruption of integrity. Now, we can just point fingers at the politicians, but what we really see is that goes down to everyone in the country. When there's no integrity at the top, it tends to create this situation where there isn't really any integrity all the way down. And that encourages crime on the streets. I mean, the connection is very clear. If you see it as a family dynamic or group or community dynamic, we're really seeing a degeneration of the whole society. And these folks who are at the political top, the moral bottom, but at the political top, have created a serious corruption. And what about the 300,000 kids who disappeared? What do you think happened to them? You can only speculate. I don't really want to speculate too much with it because it's so gross. Okay? And what are all the people in Congress and Senate doing with those kids? And on and on. So that's a problem. I think in time we'll find out that Michael Obama is going to be another expose. It's going to happen. So it's one lie after another. Now, is this new? Actually, it's not. The Biden, Obama, Clinton administrations are not new. Roosevelt, in the last 6 months, at least of his term, extended term, because it was during World War II, really wasn't running the country. His wife was because of his illnesses. President Wilson, same thing, really wasn't running the country. His wife was. So that this deception goes beyond just the current administrations. It's a way of how the people in power perceive their responsibility to the public. That's what we're looking at. So this has been going on for at least 100 years. And you can't have a healthy society when you have the leaders chronically misleading, lying, and psyoping the citizens. Now, what's happening now, different than World War II and certainly Wilson before that, is the media. Now, the media has contributed to this, but I'm saying the power of electronic communication, you can't get away with this stuff so easily. That's a good thing. And the more we have the independent media, the more these things will get exposed. And I know that there's more coming out. I know that the Trump administration is exposing a lot of things. You know, the trillions of dollars that were basically stolen, given to politicians and the politicians' friends, and all the policies that really weren't in any level linked to truth. So it's a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because to heal something, you first need to recognize that it exists. Okay? And it exists politically, morally, because we see moral corruption here, sexual corruption. The corruption has so many levels that the public is finally being exposed to this in a major way, and hopefully we'll be able to reformulate the government at a higher level. And I have to honor Trump as being a person of the different presidents that I've seen since Kennedy was assassinated in 1963 to be one of the more honest. Now, we can find faults. That's easy. But I'm talking about a general trend. There seems to be more honesty. That's why people get so upset, because he speaks the truth and he gets people all upset. They don't want to hear it. You kind of want to be lied to. So this is a really exciting time where people are being urged to be honest with each other. Now let's hope it goes down into our relationships, all the way down into the family relationships, the truth in the family, truth in the local communities, truth in intimate relationships, and turn this around. That this is use it as a inspiration for morality. In inspiration, you can't have love without truth in the relationship. You can have infatuation and illusion love, but without truth in the relationship, you can't have real love. So it comes down to the fundamentals of human interaction. How do we have real love? We have to trust each other. To be intimate, you have to risk trusting each other. To love, you have to risk touching each other. So that's how fundamental this is. It's not like just some foolish politicians, thinking they're in control and doing all these things and acting like, thugs. No, we're talking about, it comes down right to the human interaction. That is what's being threatened, but also, if we take it the right way, it inspires us to do a whole lot better. So, Richard, I just want to turn it over to you. And I really think we can do better. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think your topic is really important, Gabriel, and you're right that it's an exciting opportunity right now because we're seeing change in America anyway that the whole world is looking at in leadership, and it's not partisan. It's more populist and honest, and cabinet meetings being held right out in the open. It's really amazing. Total contrast to what's been up to now.
Yeah, so they're on to something. I haven't seen a cabinet meeting, but I've heard that they're having public cabinet meetings. I think that's wonderful. So,
It's like the president is talking like a normal person.
Explain that a little bit more.
Instead of being really stilted and trying to sound presidential. He's just sounding like a regular person next door. Say, this is what we're doing and this is why. And I think most people really appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, I understand now. Yeah. It really is bringing it back to the people, because it's talking in such, human terms, trying to fix it. This is a business. I'm trying to fix it. I need to be able to fix it. I don't care about all your special interests.
So one of their biggest jobs is to try to get ready for the next election so they don't lose the momentum.
Yeah. But he's got 2.5 years. He's got some big jobs before that. He's creating world peace. That's pretty big. I mean, if you can get Ukraine and Russia, at peace, I don't know exactly where we are with that, but it feels it's going in the right direction.
Yeah. All of those major conflict points are being addressed.
Yeah. So, and he's just doing it. I mean, I have to honor him, but it's about us. It's about setting a precedent as how we interact as human beings. That's really what it's about.
That's right.
And that, I think, is the key here. It's really the key.
You've got somebody as president who accepted the job and really didn't want to do it. He's only doing it as a service.
Yeah. It's a tough job too, but so that's what we're talking about. I'm just super pleased the direction it's going. I believe there will be more exposures. I think the Comey thing is just, in a sense, the beginning of that. I think there's going to be a revealing of lots of dishonest things that have been going on. Were you going to say something?
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with you. And there are people that are trying to find fault with why things are not happening faster. But compared to what's been going on, it's lightning speed.
For sure. But there are always people who don't want to see the goodness in things. They want to just have a negative perception.
Right.
And that's easy, because there is nothing that's perfect. It doesn't have some holes in it. Doesn't have some complications. And but you look at politics real of the world, this is a dramatic change towards truth.
All over the world are appreciated. The reception in the Middle East is an example of when he was visiting Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. And it's interesting because apparently in some of the documents, part of the October 7th thing was that Israel was about to make some kind of treaty with Saudi Arabia, and the attack was about also disrupting that. So I'm glad that this is kind of going back in the right direction.
Right. So how is that tied into the personal work that you're doing, showing people how to live?
Well, it's very, very important that we understand the importance of relationship, and also relationship with yourself. Like, we are having this fast in the Dominican Republic. It's a spiritual fast. We're meditating twice a day. We're doing all kinds of things. But fasting clears the mind so we can be more in relationship. And so we can operate on higher planes of existence. So that's how it gets us going in the right direction. So that's one level. another level with fasting is we get to interrelate, again, as I say, in the higher planes, because when we're fasting, it's a lot easier to go beyond the mind to the truth of who we are. That's really, really, and so when you start to access that truth, which is, again, easier when you're just on juices, you're not on stuff, digestion and stuff, we can come through with much purer heart in the discussion, in the way of being. I think that's really a key piece to that story. When we find that when people are fasting, they're able to access things about themselves to do some real healing. That's really, really good. So that's how it works. Fasting helps you become truthful with yourself and truthful with the people around you. And the aberrations that disrupt relationship, they necessarily have to fade out. So when I'm working with people, and particularly couples, that we often see some nice breakthroughs during a fast. So it works on the inner person, the inside, because you're cleaner, clear at every level, including the higher planes, but also interpersonal, because again, you're more open to listening and hearing to each other. So the spiritual plane, the interpersonal plane, and the interpsychic plane all become amplified during a fast. Even a juice fast for 7 days, really after 2 to 3 days, people start to get a lot clearer and open to these things. So that's how it plays into it. It's really a good thing. It'd be great if the people in Washington would do some fast. Really great. I would note that in a fast, we're trying to clear all the layers. So in our fast, people take enemas or colonics because a lot of negativity is stored in the colon, and I'm sure that would apply to Washington as well. And then, it's not just the mind, but the whole body, as it begins to function better, all the chakras become more aligned, everything works better, and you're overall more clear and more, let's say, spiritually aligned on every level. So that's how it works. And it just happens. We set it off by having people meditate twice a day, having group discussions, and a variety of things like that. So all that is going on so people can process, and we have it set up so to support people in that processing. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, just that it's also been applied successfully to prostate cancer in particular.
Correct.
There's a book, The Bruce Cancer Cure, as an example.
Yes. Prostate cancer is one of the easier cancers to cure, and fasting can play a big role in that, for sure. Because it's somewhat related to toxicity. I mean, there are many things, but that's one of the things that is related to. And so it's good. It's a prevention of cancer. It's a prevention of heart disease. It's a prevention of diabetes. Type 2 fast, for type 2 diabetics, fasting is really, can turn sugars back to normal in relatively short time. Not in every person, but in many people. It was part of our diabetes program, and it really made a difference.
What happens with type 1?
Well, the answer is, in our system, people do quite well, even when they're fasting. You have to give a lot more attention, and we do get 20% of the type 1 healed. Now, in context, it is considered non-healable, impossible to heal. And type 2, just the usual type 2, is also considered impossible to heal, but type 1 never, ever. So we, with our program, heal 20% of type 1s. And heal means a normal blood sugar less than 100, no medications, and that's exciting. And some reversal of some of the secondary faults of that happens. So 20% is an astounding number. It's in my book, There is a Cure for Diabetes. It's in the book, in the chart of what happens. So with type 1, we get 20%, which is amazing. And type 2, and that's at 3 weeks. The longer you go, the more healing you get. Type 2, we get 24% at 3 weeks healed, and 100% of the people off any insulin who are on insulin. So we get pretty dramatic results with, and the fasting is a part of it. We have people fast for a week. And that's actually where I learned how powerful fasting was for healing diabetes, because it was like, this is dramatic. So thank you for asking. And, I explain a little bit about fasting, and really one of the things, if somebody's diabetic and they come to the fast, I have to watch them closely, because if they're on insulin, I have to get them off insulin within a few days, because their blood sugar is going to normal, and you have to kind of stop the insulin so it doesn't go too low. So that's how fasting is. It's pretty amazing. I'm pretty amazed by the whole thing. So fasting is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, healing traditions, at least 5,000 years old. The Greeks used it, Plato used it, Socrates used it. So it's not like a new idea. And before they had the enema bags, they used reeds to do enemas. They did the whole thing. They had it all figured out. So all that's available, and it's so simple. And what I also found is that people in our society build up a lot of toxins. It's not a new idea, but I did a study with about 70 people, and they had 26 different toxins to start with. And after a week of fast, it was down to 13. And after 2 weeks, it was down to 0. So we really dramatically decrease toxins in the cells and in the tissues. So that's another level of it. So it helps spiritually, because your mind gets clearer. You can get in touch with your higher spirit, in essence, and mentally, because the mind gets quieter, and emotions get more calm, and basically physical plane, we do have a reversal variety of chronic diseases. The most obvious is type 2 diabetes, but also osteoarthritis. We get a lot of good results, 85% in a week or two of that. So, it's really, really good. It's good for all toxicity that people have. So, our focus is on the spiritual, but we get all these other healing levels. Almost everyone that takes the fast with diabetes heals and sustains that, because it creates a genetic upgrade. And that's actually, I think, what happens with a variety of chronic diseases, like arthritis. There's a genetic re-upgrade. The P53 gene, which kind of controls the gene alignment, comes back in alignment. So people regain their more primordial health templates. So it's pretty exciting. So I invite people to come to the fast. It's easy. As you see, it's just Dr. Cousens spiritualfast.com. It's an easy one. It's happening June 1st. So really, you need to get your tickets and come soon. So I bless everyone that life continues to unfold in a really good way. And Richard, I thank Doug for all your good work we're doing. And may everyone be happy and blessed and knows the peace of who we are. Amen. Aho. Om. Thank you.
Amen to all that, Gabriel. Thank you. And yes, there's still time to get tickets for the fast at the website. And still time for Dr. Cousens to remind Joe Biden that there are alternatives for prostate cancer. And I would encourage people to look at the book, The Breast Cancer Cure, BREUSS, and also about the fasting, the video on YouTube, which I believe is called Simply Raw. And it's a great story about how one of those fasts worked out for the diabetics and other people. So, blessings to everyone, and have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you here soon. Take care.
Okay. Blessings.